The word cult does not appear in the Bible. Reason being that this word originally it wasn't in English. It wasn't an English word, but it originated from the Latin. Latin used this word cult, but their word was colere. I've just put it down the word so that if I've gotten the pronunciation wrong, you can get the right pronunciation. So the word colere in Latin meant or means paying homage to a divinity. So there must be a divinity somewhere, then you are paying homage or respect to this divinity. If you are doing that, then you, in Latin, they will say that you are a cult. You are a cult worshipper. So this word has been translated in various languages, but I won't like us to go there at this moment, but we'll go there later. Because we are using cult as an English word, I wanted us to use English dictionaries to try and define for us this word cult. Because as I said earlier, this word is not available in the Bible. So if it is not in the Bible, it might be ambiguous or impossible for us to use the Bible to try and define a word that is not in the same Bible. So we are going to use English dictionaries because the cult or the word cult is an English word that has origins from Latin language. So I'm going to read from 3 different dictionaries to try and see how these dictionaries define this word cult. The first dictionary that I'm going to read from is this dictionary known as Merriam-Webster Dictionary. It is an online dictionary. You can Google and you can read the meaning or the definition of the word cult. This is what they are saying. A religion regarded as unorthodox, a great devotion to a person, idea, object, movement, or work. So if you can have a great devotion towards a person, great devotion towards an idea, great devotion towards an object, or a movement, or even your work, then you are in a cult, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. So I want us to compare this definition with a few biblical verses to see what the Bible says about devotion. Because the key word that we are finding in the Merriam-Webster Dictionary is the word devotion, a great devotion to something. Then it is called a cult. Okay, let's look in the book of Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy 6 verses 5. This is what it is written in the Bible. Deuteronomy 6 verses 5. Deuteronomy 6 verses 5, it reads like this. You shall love your Lord, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. So, Elohim, the God of Israel, demands that the Israelites, or those who pay homage to him, loves him with all their soul, with all their heart, with all their strength. He deserves, or he demands, total devotion towards him. Remember, the word that Merriam-Webster Dictionary has used is a great devotion. So Elohim of Israel, or the God of Israel, is demanding total devotion towards him. Let's see what the Messiah says in Matthew 22 verses 37. 22 verses 37, this is what the Messiah says. 22 verses 37. Messiah said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. So, Messiah is also demanding total devotion towards Elohim, the God of Israel. That you are supposed to love him with all your soul, all your heart, and all your strength. Total devotion. In Matthew 10, verses 33, this is what is written. 10:33. But whoever denies me before men, him I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven. So whatever Messiah is saying here is that for you to follow him, you are supposed to give him total devotion. Even amongst your friends, amongst your peers, amongst your colleagues, you are supposed to give him total devotion, great devotion, for you to be his follower. But if you deny him in any way, then he's also going to deny you in the Father's presence. 16, the same book of Matthew, 16 verses 24. Then Messiah said to his disciples, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow him. This is the bare minimum of Christianity as a religion. That if you want to follow Jesus, then you are supposed to deny yourself, deny everything that might hinder your relationship with him to follow him. If you are doing that, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, then you are in a cult. This definition by the Merriam-Webster dictionary doesn't apply only to Christianity. For example, Christians, they have total devotion towards Jesus Christ. Messianic faith have total devotion towards the Yahshua the Messiah. When you go to Judaism, they have total devotion towards Moses and the Torah. If you go to Muslims, they have total devotions towards Muhammad and the Quran. If you read in the book of Quran 3:31 to 32, you will read those words. Muhammad demands total devotion to Allah and total devotions to him as his prophet. And that is why you will hear Muslims proclaiming every now and then that they believe in one God who is Allah and Muhammad is his only true prophet, greatest among the prophets. So they have total devotions towards Muhammad. If you go to Hinduism, we realize that they have total devotion to Bhagavad Gita and Krishna as their prophet or their God. So it applies across religion. If what Merriam-Webster defines as a cult, then all religious movement that we have, they are cults. The second dictionary that I'm going to read from is the Britannica Dictionary. Britannica Dictionary defines a cult as follows: a small religious group that is not part of a larger and more accepted religion and that has beliefs regarded by many people as extreme or dangerous. So there are a few key words according to Britannica Dictionary. Number one, it is a small religious group. Number two, it is not part of the larger or the more accepted religion. Then it has got some beliefs that many regard as extreme or dangerous. Now let's look at this definition from what the Bible talks about. I'll start with the book of Esther, verses 8. This is what is written. Then Haman said to King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of your kingdom. Their laws are different from all other peoples, and they do not keep the king's law. Therefore, it is not fitting for the king to let them remain. So, as per the Britannica Dictionary, if you are small, your religious group is small. Number one. If your religious group is not part of the larger or more accepted religion. If your religious group has got some beliefs that are regarded as extreme or dangerous, then you are a cult. Let's examine this verse. Haman goes to the king to report a certain group. He says a certain group of people, they are dispersed across or among people in all provinces. So this is a small people, number one. By the being small religious group or small people, then they do qualify to be a cult, according to what a Britannica dictionary is defining this word. Then Haman says Haman says this: their laws are different from all others people, and they do not keep the king's laws. So if your laws are different from others, that is why Britannica dictionary says that if some of the doctrines that you hold on to doesn't agree to the or not accepted to the larger religious movement, then you are cult. Now, because the Jewish, their laws, their commandments, whatever they used to do, it was quite different from the larger Gentile nations. So they qualified to be a cult, according to what Britannica dictionary is defining. If you go to the book of Acts 4, during your own time you can read the whole of it, but I'll just read a few introductory or the first verses. Now as they spoke, I'm starting from verse 1. You can go up to verse 10 during your own free time. Now as they spoke to the people, the priests and the captain of the temple and the Sadducees came upon them, being greatly disturbed that they taught the people and preached in Jesus the resurrection from the dead. And they laid hands on them and put them in custody until the next day, for it was already evening. However, many of those who heard the word believed, and the number of the men came to about 5,000. So you can imagine a group of, when Messiah was in this world, he had 12 apostles and a few disciples, around 120. During the day of Pentecost, according to Acts 2, the number was multiplied to about 3,000. Now here in the book of Acts 4, we are reading that the number has reached 5,000. We are talking of 5,000 against a population of hundreds of thousands. So it was a small group. As Christianity started. This small group, according to Britannica dictionary, they were regarded, or they were supposed to be regarded as a cult. Because they were small, whatever they were preaching, that a Messiah has risen, it was not accepted by other people. Majority of people never accepted that Messiah had risen. So, according to this dictionary, Christianity at its infancy was a cult. Not only that, let's look at the larger picture, because Christianity came to Africa from various European nations. Let's say, for example, when they came to Kenya. When they came to Kenya, it was one or two people who came to spread Christianity. Because there were a few, according to this dictionary, it was a cult. When you look at the larger picture, you will realize that even in the book of Acts 12 verse 1 to 3, where it talks about how Jacob was killed and even Peter was put into prison, you will realize that Herod was doing this because he together with other people believed that Christianity was a strange religion, and that is why they were knee-bent to persecute this religion. Let's go to the third and the last dictionary. The third dictionary I'm reading from is the Cambridge Dictionary. Cambridge Dictionary defines the word cult as a religious group often living together whose beliefs are considered extreme or strange by many people. So if there is a religious group that lives together and the beliefs are considered as extreme or strange by many people, then it qualifies to. So according to Cambridge Dictionary, if a religious group decides to live together and their beliefs are considered as extreme or strange by many people, that's a cult. if you look in the book of Acts 2 verses 44, we read this. Acts 2 verses 44. Now all who believed were together and had all things in common. So the early church were living together. The early church had so many things in common. They were doing everything together. The same book of Acts 4 verses 32, it reads like this. Now the multitude of those who believed were of one heart and one soul. Neither did anyone say that any of the things he possessed was his own, but they had all things in common. 34. Nor was there anyone among them who lacked, for all who were possessors of lands or houses sold them and brought the proceeds of the things that were sold. 37. Having land, sold it and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet. So we realize that what happened with the early church, they had this accord whereby they were living together in communion. They were doing almost everything together, to the extent that those who had possessions, either land or houses, they were selling them and bringing the proceeds to the apostles. If you read the book of Acts 5, you realize that there is a man known as Ananias and his wife. They sold their land and brought part of what they had gotten from the sale to the apostles. So it happened during the infancy, church infancy. So are we going to regard the apostolic church as a cult? Because that is how it started. According to Cambridge Dictionary, their beliefs were considered strange by many because the apostles were preaching that Christ had risen, the Messiah had risen. And the Jewish plus Romans were against that belief. So many of the people were against that belief. So, my dear listener or viewer, up to that point, do you think that you belong to a cult? Do you think that Christianity is a cult? What of Muslim? Do you think that Islam is a cult? Hinduist, do you think that a Hindu is a cult? Jewish, do you think that Judaism is a cult? Because according to the three dictionaries, the way they define the word cult, it falls, it agrees that the main religious systems we have in the world today, all of them are cults. And that's, next time when you condemn your colleague, you condemn a certain church or a certain religious group that is a cult, try to think wider. Being that the word cult is an English word, think outside the box so that you might be in a position to tell which one is this and which one is that. If you have a comment or a question, kindly feel most welcome. I want to thank you, my dear viewer, for putting up with me since I started this session until now. Be blessed and see you next time.